Hey guys, Daniel Gourley here from Worship Probs, and I am so excited. I'm here with my friend Brian Tabor.
Let's go.
Let's go. So guys,
what are we doing, Dan?
You know what we're doing, Brian. We are doing Worship Karaoke, baby. Yeah, we are here, and this is awesome. These have been so fun to do.
Yeah, big time.
And to say I'm excited for today, Brian, would be an understatement.
Dude, I am beyond excited.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever is beyond excited, that's where I'm at. That's
Guys,
where I'm living.
this guest doesn't need an introduction, so we're not gonna give her one, but we will introduce you here in a short, hot second. But Brian, why are we even able to do this today? Like, who are the guys who brought us to the party?
Look, we're only able to do this because of American Musical Supply.
Yep.
You can check them out at americanmusical.com or just click the link in our bio.
The link in our bio, guys.
Like, if you're a player of any instrument, drums, guitars, keys,
or if you're into recording, studio gear,
podcasting, DJing, you're a vocalist, whatever you're doing, American Musical, they have incredible products and options, all kinds of options. They outfitted us with all this gear for Worship Karaoke.
Everything that we're using to do this, we got from these guys, and they have amazing deals on gear. They also have payment plans, right,
Payment
Brian?
plans that start at like 4 months.
Yep.
You can get everything you need.
Yep.
That's their goal, is to get you everything you need.
We have a code with them.
We have a code.
Yeah, if you put that in, or you will get $20 off of any purchase over $100.
Yeah, and click the link in our bio. And tell them we sent you.
Yep, and the only reason we get to do this stuff is because of those guys, so please
they're awesome.
Click that link. And guys, I see our guest. We are pulling up. Please welcome to Worship Karaoke the amazing Kim Tabor. Hey, Miss Kim Tabor. Guys,
how are you?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
You found us okay? All right. We were just driving along the side of the road and decided to take a road
trip. I was just out for a walk.
Right. Look at that pretty lady right there.
Drives you
She's
guys.
my lady love.
Would you guys like me to step out for a moment?
Yes.
No, that's awesome. So, Mrs. Probs, welcome to Worship Karaoke. This is it.
Thank you. I've been excited.
Oh, well, we are excited to have you as well. So, Brian, tell Miss Probs, a little bit about what we do here, what Worship Karaoke is about.
When we were kids, I had to record off the radio, like as it played on the radio. I would call the DJ and the request line and be like, Pac-Man Fever, man, Pac-Man Fever.
Pac-Man Fever.
I need it for Mrs. Whitaker's social studies class, because she would let us play songs during
was that an actual song? That was it?
Oh yeah. Pac-Man Fever's driving me crazy.
I don't know. So that's awesome. So basically, we're trying to capture that. We're trying to capture the road trip, that quintessential moment, and music takes us back to times like Pac-Man Fever with whose social studies class?
Mrs. Whitaker.
Okay.
Whitaker.
Yeah. Well, evidently that's a thing. So.
Oh yeah. 5th grade, baby.
All right, guys. So you have given us a couple of tunes for our mixtape that we're doing, Kim. All right.
Yes.
I have selected a couple of tunes.
Oh boy.
You do not know what they are.
No, I
don't. It is going to be a fun-tastic time. I'm excited. So we're going to go ahead and start now.
Okay.
It's a live album.
Oh.
Do you know that voice? Do you know that sound, that voice?
Oh my God.
So this is Morning into Dancing. Ron Canoli.
Ron Canoli.
Oh yeah. Into dancing again. We lifted my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing, for his joy has come. So there's a little calypso in there. Come on, this was the time during like worship and praise, right? So
man.
We're all about worship now, but you remember praise music, and you had a distinction between worship and praise. This was it.
And if you were really killing it, you had like a live flute player playing.
And a percussion department. So we had a dude, his name was Eddie Castillo. That guy could bang. Like, so everything was like congas and djembe, and then we had the little fish with the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. And that guy this was his deal. So
nice.
Ron Canoli, man. Awesome.
Canoli.
He's awesome.
So
awesome.
I went way back.
You did.
I went way back for
way
that
back.
guy.
I like it.
So
I'm old enough though for you to go way back.
Well,
that's the thing.
And this is the fun part, all right? So like when I first started in like ministry, it was probably 1998, 99, okay? And the church we were at was like an older kind of vineyard church, and so it was like Brian Dorkson, or it was like Danny Daniels, or like Ron Canoli kind of stuff. And so that's what I kind of grew up on. And then everything in like my growing up years was all like hymns and like kind of traditional type of church. So I feel like I'm a little bit of an old soul. So,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
absolutely.
So
So
Love
Kim, why don't you tell your version
yes.
of how
Spill
we...
what is it? Spill the tea?
Well, give us the tea, sis, about how we met.
Oh, we're going.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
How did we meet?
I love how that wasn't.
And you want my version?
I want
Yeah.
your,
There's
that's
only one
I
version.
That's
told
the
my
truth.
version. I told my version on episode 1 of
Okay.
Worship Karaoke.
Okay.
I think they would like to hear your version.
My version of how we met.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we met on the AU campus,
Yeah.
Okay.
Anderson University.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a voice major, and he was a music business major.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
okay.
we knew of each other
Oh. Okay.
throughout the years, but our paths didn't really cross
I knew of her.
too much.
You knew of her?
He knew-
All right.
he-
Well, it's
Definitely
usually how
an
it works.
awareness.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
But the interesting thing is, and this is the truth.
Yeah.
So, on the AU campus, the only people who ever led worship were the professors.
Okay.
And so, all of a sudden, one day during chapel, a student got up.
Okay.
And it was Brian. He was the first student ever asked or entrusted with leading worship
All right.
in chapel.
How'd you pull that
And-
off, Brian? Were you just like a little bribery action?
You know, it was the funniest thing. I was sitting in my apartment eating dinner one night, and the campus pastor called and said, "Hey, I heard you have some worship leading experience." And now, at that time, that was very generous.
Right.
That was a very generous way to describe
You were not
my
seasoned
experience.
at that
Yes.
point.
Yeah, and so he's like, "We've never done this before, but
Right.
we'd like to have a student lead in chapel. Would you?"
Oh.
And you could kind of see all
Okay.
the students were like, "Okay,
Yeah,
what's going to
all
happen
right,
here today?"
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
so
and
you
so-
see him leading? Is that
Yep, I was sitting in chapel.
okay?
I knew who he was,
Yeah.
but I had never seen anybody my own age
Okay.
leading worship before.
Okay.
And so he gets up, he leads worship, and I sat there and I thought, I have to get to know him. I have never
Nicely
experienced
played,
anything
Brian.
like this before. And so I immediately went after chapel to
Yeah.
a mutual friend,
Yeah.
and I asked her,
Right.
what's his status, you know?
So was it he was leading like worship, and then all the background faded away, and like Peter Cetera came up
Yeah,
to the top?
absolutely, yeah.
Is that what it was like?
Yeah,
Right?
you're the
So-
inspiration.
like a knight in shining armor. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's what first got my
Okay.
attention
Okay.
with him. Yeah.
Okay. And then
So-
he told you back then this long plan to start a meme account and develop a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So you gave us 2 songs, and they were much nicer than the first song I gave. So there's no calypso, there's no congas, there's no like craziness. So I'd like to play your first one, and then maybe we can chat about it, and you can talk
Yeah.
about why you picked this guy. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Oh, yes. I love this song.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
I love you, Lord.
Yes.
Your mercy, man.
Oh, your mercy never fails me.
Sing it, Kim.
All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am made, of the goodness of God. I love your voice.
Man, that is amazing. So, what does that song mean to you, Miss Kim? Like, when you sing that song, does it take you back to a place, or does it take you back to a time, or a message, or a moment? Like, where does that take you?
You know, honestly, that song takes me to a different place today than it did, and this is the first time I have sung that song
Aww.
since I was able to go to the Asbury revival. And this song means something different to me today because God met me in a very special way at Asbury.
Yeah.
And he allowed me to experience his kindness and his tenderness
Yeah.
in such a powerful way in that hour and a half that we were in that auditorium. I had no idea what to expect. And so singing of the goodness of God today is different for me than it was just a little bit ago. Because I feel like he allowed me to experience that in a deeper way.
Yeah.
He is every bit as good and as tender and as kind as we've heard. And wow, I feel like the song is different for me now. And I did not realize that until you started it today.
Now, I remember reading your kind of account because you posted on social about what you experienced, and what kind of I took away from it is you just said that everything was like, there was this sweetness, this like
Yes.
tender kind of spirit of worship that was in that space. And what is that like? Was it a unique thing there, or was it just being reminded about what worship can be like? I mean, what did you get away from that, or what did you take away from that?
There definitely was a sweetness, and I am still very much on my worship journey, and my husband has been a big part of that because I grew up in the Lutheran church.
Okay.
And worship was very different. It existed for sure, but it was very traditional. It was not very emotive. And so Brian was the first one who really God used to help expand my horizons and give me a greater understanding of really what worship is. And so, and then I feel like there have been these different points in my life where God has propelled me forward a little bit in that understanding. And Asbury was the most recent one. But yes, a sweetness and a peace and just this whole overwhelming sense that I am always with you. I am always with you. I have not forgotten you. Wow. Because there are times, this world is really tough.
Oh yeah.
And there are times where you're experiencing deserts and you're like, where are you, God? Where are you? And it was just such a sweet reminder. Oh, I'm here. I've always been here.
Yeah.
And
well, I think what's amazing about that is like this was your birthday gift.
yeah, it was.
You know, so it's like on our birthdays, we'll typically, right, Brian, we're like, okay, on my birthday, I want like a steak dinner, and I want to put my feet up.
Oh, I like that too.
I know. But it's comfortable, right? Yeah. It's like we are almost conditioned, at least in this society, like what fills me up, what makes me comfortable. And I love the fact that you guys were literally freezing out in the cold for hours to experience this, and I mean, totally worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I would have waited longer.
Yeah. And
had I known what was waiting for me in that auditorium.
Yeah.
I always tell people, as we've unpacked this story, it tells you everything you need to know about my wife. That was what she asked for her birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a pretty amazing experience. So
I'm very grateful that it worked out and that we were able to do that, for sure. Absolutely.
So like, okay, as life often does, it turns in directions that maybe we didn't anticipate or plan for.
No.
And you know, your life, your ministry has kind of had an addition in the last few years.
You've enlarged your tent, Peg.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, we have an an outreach portion. I have an outreach portion of my ministry, and it's called Stripped Free.
Yeah.
And a team of women and myself go into the strip clubs in the city of Indianapolis to let the women who are working there know that they are loved and they matter.
Wow.
That there are people who love them, and most importantly, there is a God who is crazy in love with them. And we walk alongside them, develop friendships, and we support them in whatever way they want or need or will allow us to.
Right.
We have a resource center that we just opened up a couple years ago to help with some of those needs, to help with education and employment issues, and for Bible studies and support group and things like that. So yeah, it's the kind of ministry that is a little bit difficult for some people to wrap their minds around.
Right.
But I have been privileged to have some of the most incredible relationships. I've met some of the most amazing women through this ministry.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and you take that, like your Asbury experience, somebody told us the way they phrased it, that we're presence carriers. Somebody said that to us several years ago. It stuck with me. And you take that into one of the darkest places.
Yeah. And the symbolism too, I love that you put with it. Like, you posted a photo on Facebook not too long ago that was like this bag, like, right? It was just like the bag of, and you even said in there, it's like inside here, monetary wise, there's a bunch of expensive stuff inside here, clothes and all these other things. But when you look at that bag, what is that? For somebody who's in this industry doing this, making these decisions, and they put that bag down and they walk away from it, like, what are they walking away from and what are they walking towards? Yeah,
and that bag represents a huge, brave step by a woman.
Yeah.
Because when they give their very expensive work clothing and shoes away, that means they're done.
Right.
They're done. There's many leave and they keep all of those things just in case, for a plan B, a backup plan. But when a woman gives the clothes away or entrusts me with all of those things, then that's when I know she's done. She's done. And not only was this particular woman done with the industry,
right,
but she said yes to Jesus at the same time. And so he became her plan A for employment and her backup plan for employment if needed.
Right.
And so, yeah, those are really special moments, and I don't take those for granted when a woman allows me into those very sacred areas of her life.
That's pretty awesome. You gave us 2 songs, so your second song, and I just want to say, like, of the 2 Tabors, Brian's 2 choices were good. Yours were great. Okay, so we're just going to establish
that can pretty much be said about that's kind of like the blanket over.
I would say Brian's serviceable on his song selection, but like Kim just like perfectly placed and planned. So I would like to play this song, because this song, I think, is the term a banger. Is that what we call it?
Yes. One of my favorites too.
You've been hearing the same old voice tell the same old lies.
Ooh, sing it.
If you're trying to fill the same old holes inside, there's a better life. Oh, there's a better life. If you've got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you've got chains, he's a chain breaker.
Man, that is an amazing song. Guys, you know it's a good tune when, like, my drumming on the steering wheel skills. Like, I'm not a professional drummer, but I'm an amateur steering wheel drummer in the car.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, no, that is a phenomenal song,
great song.
and that is very fitting. Brian, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time to play what we call What's in the Glove Box. Yes. What's in the glove
This
box?
makes me nervous.
So, yes, as it should. As it should. Brian doesn't even know what's in the glove box.
I don't know what's in the glove box.
And you know what? Here's the great thing. The glove box it's for one, it's for all. The glove box, it sees no individual, it plays no favorites. So if you would like to hit that little button there, it'll show you what's in the glove box, Kim. So we, through the magic of music, have furnished you with two. These are not glorious trumpets. These are mighty instruments that have been fashioned from Amazon. And so one is for you, Kim, and one is for Brian.
Oh gosh.
Excellent.
Yes. And
Well, he's a former trumpet player.
he's this should be right down your alley. And I thought of no better song choice, Brian,
Oh boy.
to kind of get us going than this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is a throwback, baby.
Oh, man.
My Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your might. We are not at the shouting part yet, Brian.
I don't know how to do it.
There's a shouting portion.
Finesse something in there. I can't play it, man.
Tower of refuge and strength, let every breath and all that I am never cease to worship you. Shout to the Lord of the earth.
How do I do this thing? Am I on the right
I don't
side?
know how to do it, man.
It's fine. It was like 99 cents on Amazon.
There it is.
It's kind of like a shofar.
I can't make it.
Oh, I would like to apologize.
I think mine's broken.
I would,
have the lung capacity,
I would like to
babe.
apologize,
Mine's broke.
Darlene Check, if you're out there and you're listening to this. I'm so
We're
sorry.
blowing our shofars for you.
Oh my goodness, guys, it's so ridiculous. It's genius. It's so dumb. It's so smart at the same
my
time.
gosh.
Brian,
Yes.
you know what's so funny? We've been going for a good long while, and music has like passed the time. It's like legit. We've gone up and down. We've gone through valleys. We've gone through all these different things. Brian, I think it's time for the big bus special. All right, I'm gonna pull over on the side of the road because I want to pay full attention to this because we don't want no accidents.
So if you're driving a bus, a big bus, full of worship leaders and production leaders and volunteers, and you maybe picked up the speaker thing to say something to them about what we do in the local church. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and you're amazing at it. What would you say to them?
No pressure.
No pressure. Oh my goodness. You know, I don't know that I have anything to say that is brand new or that nobody's ever heard before.
Sure.
But if I can speak to what's going on in my own heart and life right now that might help someone else, just remembering, I've already alluded to this a little bit, just remembering that Jesus is so kind, and he's not a God that's waiting to catch you and put his thumb down on you and I gotcha. That's not who he is. And I was just reminded of that in such a beautiful way very recently. And so, and that leads me to also remember that I don't have to hide anything from him, because whether you're in leadership or on a church platform, we all as human beings try to hide things from God. And that was one of my big takeaways, is because at Asbury, after I was completely overwhelmed and just sobbed for 30 minutes, being reminded of the kindness and goodness of God, then I sat down and had a good, long, honest talk and time of repentance. And that kindness is what spurred me to repent, because I knew that it was safe with him. And I knew that it was safe to allow him into every crack and crevice of my life, the good, the bad, the ugly. And it was okay, and there was no need to hide anything from him. And so I think that we as leaders in particular, it can be so lonely. And we feel like we have to have it all together. And boy, I also know there's a lot on the line in church leadership, because if you maybe are too honest, are we going to lose jobs? Those kinds of major things. But when it comes to us and Jesus, there is no safer environment, and there is no need to hide, because that kindness and that tenderness is there, and he's ready with his arms open wide no matter what. And I think even church leaders need to be reminded of that at times.
Man,
that's awesome.
Wow.
So, Kim, you are in no shortage of things to do in your life, but you're tinkering around with ideas of what to do, in addition to this amazing strip-free ministry that you have and whatnot. So talk to us a little bit about what's going on with, like, did I hear you may be doing a podcast?
There is the possibility of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know anybody who does podcasts that may know a thing or two?
Let me see here. I just so happen, yes, I do know somebody. I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited. It's probably going to be a podcast specifically geared for women.
Okay.
And talking about the stripping process that we as believers go through, that God takes us through, that is so necessary, the stripping and surrendering process. Because that's one of the big things that I have learned through the stripped free ministry, is nobody has been as stripped as I have been in doing that ministry.
Sure.
There are all kinds of there's all kinds of baggage that I had to get rid of, and God made that very clear very quickly in my life. So yeah, I think that that's going to be kind of a focus. Jesus is the great rescuer and redeemer and restorer of every single one of us, no matter what we do for a living. Whether women are just women. Whether, no matter what industry they work in, we all want to know that we are loved and we matter, and we all need the great rescuer to rescue us.
That's amazing. That's cool. Well, I'm excited for that, and because, I mean, if it's any, like, Brian's song choices or any indication, your podcast is going to be way better.
Way better. Way better.
You were where I was going.
Not
right?
even close.
I
not even close.
I doubt that, but we're going to give it a go.
Oh, that's awesome. So, all right, well, Brian, how do we land this puppy? Like,
what an honor to have you on here, man. This is
Oh.
so fun.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
And literally, guys, just time has flown by, and it's been fun. I've laughed, I've cried, mostly at my song choices, mostly at giving you guys those kazoos.
You've
but
literally seen your morning turn to dancing, and
then back to morning again. No, but we need to do this again, Kim.
Oh,
You're
I would
awesome.
love it.
It was
I
a
would
blast.
love it.
So,
You guys are awesome.
oh.
You know how I feel about both of you.
All right, we do. We definitely do. And speaking of that, we need to also
Speaking
mention,
of awesome, American Musical Supply, man.
they are the guys.
Yeah, hit the link in our bio, guys, and use the code. It's going to save you, no matter what you want to buy from there.
Yeah.
And if you spend $100,
Musical
you're going to save
instruments.
20 with
Yeah,
that, with
$20.
the WLP code. And they are just, man, they're guys who have come alongside us and said, "What do you need? What are your dreams?"
Yeah, we were like, we want to do this crazy idea, and they were like, cool. And then literally all this stuff is here to do it. So if you guys want to see more worship karaoke's, click the link in the bio, buy stuff, enter the code, and we'll get to do more of these.
Yay.
Yeah.
And that means I get to get more things for the glove box.
Oh,
So I can't wait. So, all right. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.